Okay, episode 4 this week, and just waiting for a couple people to find the stream. Uh, you know, looks like a slow night. But this was a very buzzed about episode, and I'm very excited to talk about it with all you guys. But I don't think we're gonna go too long tonight because I have an appointment tomorrow morning to get my taxes filed, and I kind of need to hit the sack a little early because I'm very anxious to get that in my rear view, hopefully as easily as possible. Because 2 years ago, filing taxes literally took months because the tax pro they assigned me was just a complete idiot. I had to go back over and over and over again. It was I don't it was like August or September before the whole thing was squared away. Completely ridiculous. The one last year it was easy. One visit, less than an hour, done. And I booked that same tax pro this year, so hopefully it's that easy a second time. So fingers crossed on that. So I need to be done with the stream a little bit early tonight, so I don't miss that appointment because the filing deadline is like in 3 days. But a lot of people saying a lot of things about this episode. I'll just move this over here. Sorry. Yeah, so Born Again Season 2, Episode 4. Get your super chats in if we're so inclined. I'll do those at the end. You'll have priority. You'll be the first questions I answer, or first comments I read. Call it a night. So let's talk. I'm a little bit split on this one. And apparently I'm in the minority on that. I saw a post on Twitter the other day saying this was the highest rated episode of any Marvel show on IMDb. Like, out of all the episodes of all the MCU shows, this is the highest rated one. On IMDb. And anybody can vote on those things. IMDb, really. But a lot of people must have voted on this one. And unless this was like positive review bombing, which it very well could have been, I'm feeling like I missed something here. I mean, sure, on the one hand, excuse me, on the one hand, this episode did a lot of cool stuff. It took some big swings, made some bold creative choices. They also did some things that were frustrating. All right, take this opening sequence, for example. It's a lot of fun. It is. It's this bizarrely upbeat, peaceful, seemingly Disneyfied, happy-go-lucky scene of Bullseye going about his morning, making breakfast, making the bed, being nice. Not the person we know Bullseye to be at all. And then he lures a task force into a diner and cuts them to pieces with silverware and a frickin' toothpick. I mean, it's really cool. Is it enjoyable watching Bullseye kill people I don't like? Absolutely it is. Satisfying? Hell yeah. Wilson Bethel is awesome as this character. Well crafted, well directed, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, okay, writers, I get it. You don't like ice. Message received. The sequence was fun, but your commentary is not subtle. I would also caution you about going too far with this let's root for Bullseye stuff. I don't know if he's a character you want to do that with necessarily. I see what you're going for, but just because he's killing the right people at the moment doesn't mean that he's not a ticking time bomb. Yeah, the guy is a legit scene stealer, but at the end of the day, Bullseye is a villain. Let's not lose sight of this. By the way, it's pretty funny that he lures them into the diner by telling the hotline that he saw Frank Castle, and they rush in there ready to throw down, but when they find out it's Bullseye, they're horrified. I mean, if it really was the Punisher, they'd be just as dead. Hell, Frank would probably murder them a lot more brutally than Bullseye would. I mean, at the very least, Frank would make a bigger mess. Still, I like this a lot. Ice commentary aside, what they're doing with Bullseye is super interesting. In his own fucked up way, he thinks he's one of the good guys now, and he does appear to be getting results, but it's all going to blow up in his face before too long, I'm sure. Damn it. Sorry. Sorry, allergies. Matt and Karen are videotaping messages made by the prisoners they freed from Red Hook last week, telling the people, they're telling the people what happened in that place where they were imprisoned illegally, including the first mate from the boat who, just walks in at the end. That's very convenient. So they don't have to search for him now, but there's something missing here. The prisoners don't say that it was Daredevil who freed them. Anybody else catch this? Like, why the hell would you not have them say this? Kingpin is trying to turn the whole city against Daredevil. Here you've got eyewitnesses, people who Daredevil saved from the Kingpin, from the task force, and they're just leaving that part out? Swordsman even says that Daredevil is hope for the entire city now. So here you've got a golden opportunity to use that to your advantage, to turn Kingpin's narrative on its head, and you're not using it? What the fuck? Did this bother anybody else? Anyway, Angela wants to help. Now, she has to talk Karen into letting her help, and she's going to pass along an SD card with all the video footage on it. Matt tells her that the White Tiger medallion she's wearing now comes with a responsibility. We still don't know what that damn thing does. What powers does it give her specifically? They haven't explained that yet, and I really wish they would. Because the time is going to come when White Tiger is actually going to have to do something. And like on camera, not I don't mean having fight scenes off camera. And when that day comes, it would be nice to know like what the rules are for this character. Like when she's wearing the medallion, what can she do? What can't she do? How does this work? Okay. For a couple episodes now, they've been teeing up this boxing match. For a few episodes, posters here, training sessions there. Mayor Kingpin getting in the ring for some kind of PR stunt. And he doesn't want Vanessa there when the fight happens. So he's sending her to have like a sit-down meeting with the governor, who he's been butting heads with, and has also, Matt and Karen slipped her some info on the Red Hook Charter, and it's within her power to shut that thing down if she so chooses. But she and Vanessa have a bit of a rapport. So Vanessa's going to smooth things over at the same time this boxing match is happening, and Vanessa's not happy about that. Damn it. Excuse me. Vanessa thinks she should be there. She wants to be there. Kingpin says, no, it's too dangerous. It's public. You'll be too exposed. It's not safe. So he knows there's going to be trouble, because as we find out later, the whole thing is a setup. It's at Fogwell's gym. He's expecting Bullseye and Daredevil to show up. He wants them there, so he doesn't want Vanessa anywhere near that place. Vanessa doesn't like this, and they have kind of a frosty goodbye. And I like this. Vanessa has been paranoid with Bullseye being in the wind, but at the same time, she's become, like, not drunk on power exactly, but she's gotten very comfortable in her position as Mrs. Kingpin, the First Lady of New York. It's like she thinks that affords her more security than it really does. So she's scared of Bullseye, but she also feels kind of untouchable right now, and she's not really thinking clearly. And Karen say, I love you for the first time. And it was at that moment that I said to myself, oh, hell. Oh, shit, something really bad's about to happen, isn't it? And it was. Matthew Lillard shows up again. He's not the bad thing that was about to happen. Because all those weapons the Kingpin is moving for Lillard's boss are still sitting in Red Hook instead of going to where Val wants them. Lillard tries to assert himself again, but Kingpin's already fed up with that. Buck kills Lillard's bodyguards, and Kingpin's like, look, I'll honor our arrangement, but I'll do it when I say so, okay? That happens when I say so, not before. Lillard can't really do anything. He's no longer in a position to strong-arm the Kingpin. Again, very good. Fisk isn't taking shit from anybody, not from Val, not from anyone else. And stuff like this is why I think promoting Fisk to more of a Norman Osborn type of figure would be, who could be a larger villain for the entire MCU, not just for Daredevil, would be a great thing. Val sent her henchmen to do business, and Fisk has already cut his balls off. I say, get rid of Val, put Kingpin in her place, and you've got a way more compelling situation. Because after Thunderbolts, Val or command any real authority. She just isn't. Vanessa talks to the governor. Basically, the governor doesn't really trust the mayor. I can't imagine why. But she sees that Vanessa is a calming influence on him. Like Vanessa curbs a lot of his darker impulses and keeps him from being the worst version of himself. Vanessa makes the Kingpin more civilized, as fucked up as that sounds. She can't back Mayor Fisk, but she's willing to back Mayor and Mrs. Fisk if they're a package deal. And you probably had a growing sense of dread in the pit of your stomach after this scene. Like, they're definitely setting the stage for something big, and the tension is, rising very fast. So Matt puts on some task force tactical gear that he probably took off that guy Karen took hostage, and he checks out the diner murder scene with his super senses. This leads him to the church where Bullseye showed up a few weeks ago looking for Sister Maggie. He talks to the priest Bullseye talked to, and that leads him to Bullseye's apartment. More good stuff. I love when they find ways to utilize Matt's super senses when he's playing detective. I know, the big, epic, elaborate fight scenes are what a lot of people tune in for. I love the super senses too, though. That's a big part of it. Those kind of get overlooked sometimes. Also, I like this conversation with the priest. The issue of whether or not Bullseye deserves grace comes up, and Matt doesn't give an answer to that, but he does say that he won't kill Bullseye. And that's one of the things that makes Matt so fascinating. He hates Bullseye. He has every reason in the world to hate him, but he's still a man of faith. He believes that every life is precious, every life has value. I guess you could definitely argue that this belief causes Matt more trouble than it's worth sometimes, but that's what makes him a great character. And they do something cool here with the color palette. Right before Matt confronts Bullseye at his apartment, they show the door to the building illuminated by truck lights in red and blue. Red for Daredevil, blue for Bullseye. Everything's color-coded, very nice. Matt almost gets the jump on him, but Bullseye senses he's there. Can't go wrong when these two go at it. But the landlady walks in, so Bullseye gets a hostage, and they talk for a minute. He says he wants to do a good deed to balance the scales. And he had to do what he did to Foggy because that's what it took to get him out of the asylum so he could get his mind back. And if you remember what Bullseye was like when Vanessa found him in the asylum, you kind of understand how desperate he was. He was just a doped up, meek, terrified shell of himself. And now, in a really fucked up way, he thinks he's atoning for killing Foggy by going after Fisk. But Matt can't let that happen, obviously. Killing Fisk makes him a martyr. We can't have that, even if it would probably make Matt's life a lot easier. Great acting in this scene. Great acting. Wilson Bethel especially is terrific. Bullseye comes off as desperate, scared, and frighteningly unstable all at the same time. Almost like he knows what he's doing is really fucked up, but he thinks he has to do it anyway. So he escapes, setting up a showdown at that boxing match that's going to be bloody in more ways than one. Karen pays Kirsten a visit at the law firm, brings her to the hideout to take the first mate's statement. Finally, he mentions that Daredevil showed up and did some stuff, so not everybody forgot about that. At least one person knew enough to say this on the record. Thank you. Then the U.S. Marshals take him into custody, but Buck appears and kills him anyway. Buck was tipped off by somebody high up the ladder. We don't know by who. But he was called away to do that while the fight was happening, which was too bad, because Buck versus Bullseye would have been really interesting. I think that could have been a cool fight. So the first mate's dead now, presumably. Still have his statement, though, for now. Angela passes along the SD card to a friend, and the friend passes it to BB at the fight. Daniel noticed this, though. He plays dumb, but he's more observant than he looks. So now it's fight night. Here's where it all goes down. We go to Fogwell's gym, and Fisk has task force goons all over this place. But they've cleared the front door. Intentionally. They've done everything except put up a big sign saying, Bullseye, enter through here. Fisk even mentions, clear the front door. That's where I want him to come through. Which does raise some questions based on what happens a little bit later. If Fisk wants Bullseye to enter through the front door, you'd think he'd be prepared for that. But as we'll see in a few minutes, he really was not. The boxing match is pretty fucking cool. This was amazing. Fisk is fighting a heavyweight boxer, and he absolutely towers over this guy. My God, how is it that in an episode where Bullseye must have killed at least 24 people, that D'Onofrio is the most terrifying person in it? This man is 66 years old. 66! And he's built like a goddamn tank. The beating he put on this boxer during the fight, holy shit. I could almost feel my teeth rattling. Kingpin savages this guy like a fucking animal. If the fight goes more than two rounds, that poor bastard is fucking dead. He's just gonna die in the ring. He'll just be reduced to a pile of ground beef, the way Kingpin was just laying into him. The only thing that stops Fisk for even a second is when Vanessa shows up, wearing a white dress of all things. So that thing was about to get stained with, it was about to get stained with something red. Yeah. But then he hits this man so goddamn hard, I'm not sure how his head is still attached to his body. Unbelievable. And the funny thing is, the look on Vanessa's face as she watches this, the rest of the crowd is shocked and horrified, but Vanessa has never been so turned on in her life. Kingpin is absolutely getting laid tonight, or he would be if things weren't about to take a bit of a turn. It's pretty funny, though. So Vanessa gets in the ring with him, looking like she was ready to jump his bones right there in front of the whole city. But then Bullseye shows up, and the whole thing turns into a bloodbath. He strolls in, cool as a cucumber, and absolutely massacres every task force goon in that place. And this is the part I'm so split on. Because I've seen people talking about this, this whole final act, and how amazing it was. And in a way, they're not wrong. It also has some issues that I haven't seen anyone talk about yet. Because here's the thing. This was cool as hell. All right? In a vacuum, the sequence is absolutely riveting. Like, they spelled this all out for us clear as day. Okay? Kingpin wants Bullseye and Daredevil to show up. All right? They all but told us that. This is a trap. But then Bullseye springs the trap, and they have nothing. He literally walks in through the front door that Fisk left open for him, hoping he would show up, hoping he would enter the building through that door. But once he's there, once they've got him, there's no sniper in the rafters to take him out. There's no hired assassin to fight him. There's no anything. It's just task force guys. And beats me why they thought that would be enough when Bullseye just cut an entire squad of them to ribbons in the opening scene so easily you almost felt sorry for them. I don't see what the plan was here. Like, what was there even a plan at all? I thought there was. But in hindsight, maybe not. I mean, Kingpin goes to all this effort to set up the trap to lure Bullseye in, but then Bullseye shows up, they're completely unprepared, and he just steamrolls everybody. I don't get it. Like, Fisk is smarter than this. It just seems like the plan, such as it was just to get Bullseye there. But once he's there, they have no idea what to do. They're just caught with their pants down. They set it up as one thing. They set the trap. Okay, yeah, leave the front door open. That's where I want him to come in. Be ready for this. Then Bullseye comes in exactly the way Fisk wanted him to, and then suddenly it just... If there was a plan in place, it just falls apart. It was as if Bullseye caught them by surprise. But they wanted him to show up. Supposedly, then he shows up and it's like, oh my god, I didn't expect this. Like, if you turn your brain off, the sequence is very, very cool. I just can't make sense of it. But Bullseye gets one of those glass figurine merch things and throws it at Vanessa. Kingpin blocks it with that commemorative title belt thing they gave him. And Vanessa actually clipped Bullseye with a shot. I mean, she was the only person who got a shot off at Bullseye here, funnily enough. Kingpin almost gets off a Bullseye, saves the man who killed Foggy. And why? Because Matt's a fucking hero, and that's what heroes do. Because he believes every life is precious, and he's not going to let anybody kill anybody, even if it's probably killing him to do it. Also, if Fisk had killed Bullseye, the media would have made him out to be a hero, and that's no good. Unfortunately, Matt kind of screwed himself here, because now leaving the man who, just murdered half the people in that building. So they escape. But turns out Kingpin didn't block all of the glass statue that Bullseye threw. Vanessa got a shard of glass in the side of the head, and it doesn't look good for her as the episode ends. We don't know for sure if Vanessa's dead. I mean, she probably is, but, Kingpin got shot in the face and shrugged it off, so who knows? And we'll find out in the next one. It would be a fun bit of irony, though. The man who Vanessa hired to kill Foggy ends up killing her. We fade out with more color-coded stuff. Vanessa in her white dress stained with red blood, lying on the mat of the boxing ring, which is white, red, and blue. White for Kingpin, red for Daredevil, blue for Bullseye. Nice touch there. If Vanessa's dead, because the way they set this up is Vanessa was the only thing stopping Kingpin from becoming an absolute fucking demon. I mean, as brutal as he was here, as brutal as he was before, Vanessa took the edge off him. If she's gone, stay far away from any car doors, for the love of God. Everything changes now. And I'm very nervous following this episode, Because they killed Foggy. Now Vanessa, more than likely. There's only so many more ways they can raise the stakes. So I'm getting very worried about Karen. I mean, there's been pictures of Deborah Ann Wall on set for season 3, so we know she's safe for the time being. But we also know what happens to Karen in the comics, and damn, I would hate for that to happen. Nevertheless, they really upped the ante here. The way they wrote it was very weird and clumsy, because Kingpin's trap just completely fell apart the second it did what he wanted it to do. And I don't know what the hell was going on there. But the decision to kill Vanessa, again, presumably, is going to ratchet up the intensity to another level. Like, all the stakes get raised now. Frustrating, but the ideas behind this are exciting. So I can't wait to see where this goes, but they do need to be smarter than this about how they pull it off, because this whole thing could fall apart very quickly if they keep pulling stunts like this without thinking them through. Like I said, apply a little bit of thought to this entire sequence, it all falls apart. Kingpin sets a trap. Bullseye walks into the trap. Suddenly there's no trap. What happened? I don't know. Alright. Let's see what you guys thought about this episode. And again, if you're just joining us, we're not going to go for too long here because I have an early morning appointment with the tax pro to get my taxes taken care of, so I can't go too long tonight. Let's see. Norman Osborn versus Wilson Fisk would be so awesome. On paper, potentially. I would like to see a reimagined version of Norman Osborn. Not the version that appeared in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. Again, never been big on those films. I would like a new version of Norman Osborn if he ever shows up in the MCU. And you know, we don't know if he will because they'd have to go through Sony on that one, so who knows. On paper, Osborn versus Fisk, that could be pretty cool, though. Let's see, I think that special coming up, Punisher One Last Kill, takes place just before Daredevil Born Again Season 1 because Frank still has his beard, which he was sporting in Season 1. Possibly, or he could have just grown the beard out again. Yeah. I mean, you could be right. Or, you know, Frank just, you know, it goes back into the dark place that he was in prior to Season 1. Could be he just stopped shaving. We don't know. Bullseye definitely did that on purpose. I'm hoping Vanessa doesn't make it. Oh, he absolutely did that on purpose. He wanted to kill both of them. Yeah. And Kingpin is the definition of a man-child. In some ways, you're not wrong. He's just he's always been just like a roiling pit of violent emotions that he doesn't know how to regulate. In some ways, Vanessa kind of put a capper on that. Yeah, but without Vanessa, I'd expect he's going to revert back to the Kingpin of Season 1 of Netflix Daredevil. Yeah, before he... Yeah, but before he got himself a wife, I guess. Yeah. She made him more civilized. kind of had she kind of soothed the savage beast, I guess, because you know, I don't remember him beheading anyone with a car door since he met Vanessa. Would be fun if he brought that back now. Love the episode. Bullseye was the show stealer of the episode. Oh yeah. Hey, did you see that post yesterday? Like, there's been some chatter about Bullseye potentially getting like a one-shot special, like Punisher's getting. You know, after this episode, I could see it. I think Wilson Bethel has the chops for it. He's a definite scene stealer. I could see them getting that. I'd be okay with it too. I think that would work. As long as they don't try to like redeem Bullseye. They don't try to like redeem Bullseye, because you know, who wants that? The guys that can toy with the idea, but ultimately, the man is evil. The idea, but ultimately, the man is evil. Let's see. And the biggest irony of Vanessa getting killed by Bullseye is Kingpin basically created his own worst enemy back in season 3. From the asylum. I remember at the end of season 3 of Netflix Daredevil, there was that big 3-way fight between Daredevil, Kingpin, and Bullseye. What's fun about that dynamic is that there's it can be switched up so easily. Like, we don't really know like how this season is going to play out, but they could like do like a similar thing here, where it's all 3 of them going at each other, or it could be 2 of them versus 1, or 2 others versus a different one, and there's like, it could be like literally be any combination of these things. It could be Daredevil and Bullseye versus the Kingpin. After this episode, I think it's more likely going to be Daredevil and Kingpin versus Bullseye. All 3 of them going at it again. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it could be anything, really. That's what's so fun about this. Okay. Some people talking about the stream health. All right. Yeah. Okay. Little bit of a. Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag here. Sorry about that. I'm just noticing that now. Not a lot I can do with it at the moment. All right, hold on. All right, we got a super chat here. Stephen Kahn 8587. Thank you for the super chat. Damn, I'm late. I was watching AEW Dynasty. Only about 100 false finishes so far. I don't know why I keep watching this crap. Oh, damn. Dynasty was on tonight, wasn't it? Damn, I totally forgot. You know, I want to be more invested in the AEW product than I am right now. There's been a couple. It's just, I mean, the wrestling's always good. The stories just aren't engaging right now. I mean, who is booking the storylines? I mean, Tony Khan apparently has the final say on all the creative decisions. I don't know who else is booking this thing, but it all goes through Tony. And like, I mean, how many stories are we actually telling here? I mean, perfect example. I mean, you had Swerve and you had Hangman suddenly like on the same page and kind of working together for a little while. and suddenly that just gets dropped, and now Swerve is a heel again, and Hangman is just off TV all of a sudden after losing to MJF, which was also dumb because they're not going to be able to keep to that stipulation, by the way. I mean, eventually they're going to want to put Hangman back in the world title picture. They can't keep that stipulation. They can't do it. They'll never be able to do that, so that was dumb. But yeah, this thing with Swerve and Hangman had so much. There was so much they could have done with it, and now suddenly it's just so they can go in a new direction. People liked it. Make some long-term plans, for crying out loud. It's so stupid. Man, I'm an AEW fan. That company needs a creative overhaul. I'm sorry. All right, some people can't hear. All right, okay, I can hear it on my end. Okay, I'm sorry if there's some stream problems tonight. That's too bad. I always try to check these things before I go live. All right, I'll have to check that out after the stream. I'm sorry if there's some issues right now. All right, some people are saying it's fine on their end. Just click refresh. That's all I can tell you right now. Love the idea that Daredevil is agile, Bullseye is faster, and Kingpin is stronger. Yeah. Yeah, they all have their different fighting styles. That's what makes it so interesting. Makes it a lot of fun. Makes it a lot of fun when those guys go at it. There's a lot of different things they can do with that. Honestly, my only complaint is about. I mean, he's still got the bullseye symbol on the forehead and all that stuff. I think this is more practical in live action now. Wonder when we'll get to see Daredevil in the red suit again. I miss the red suit. I mean, the black is fine. I've always preferred the red suit. Black doesn't really fit the devil motif. Devils are red. Daredevil's color is red. He's color-coded as red, but he's wearing a black suit. It's weird. Are you watching Invincible and The Boys? I have not seen the current seasons yet. I know The Boys just started. I mean, Invincible is several episodes in now. I want to watch them. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm really excited to watch them. It's just, I don't know. I keep finding reasons not to. Like I'm busy doing other stuff. Maybe once I get my taxes in the rear view, we can think about that. What do you think they're doing with McDuffie's character? That seems to be going nowhere. God damn it. Kirsten McDuffie. I couldn't tell you at the moment, because right now it just feels like she's there to be the character who's not Foggy. Look, we know Foggy is going to show up at some point during this season. He was in the trailer. Maybe it'll be a dream sequence. Maybe it'll be a flashback. We know the actor will be appearing. Maybe it'll be revealed that they faked his death somehow. I don't know. I do feel like something is definitely missing because Kirsten McDuffie, she's basically just filling the role that Foggy would be in if he was here. I don't see another reason for that character to exist. Because, I mean, if she's just there to be a rewritten Foggy Nelson, then why'd we get rid of Foggy in the first place? Because they still have not sold me that was on the idea that was the best way to go. Did it raise the stakes? Sure. Long term, I'm not sure if it was worth it. Because we're in season 2 now. Since they killed off Foggy, I still miss the man. Every week I'm like, damn, I wish Foggy was here. Something's missing without Foggy here. Why'd you even get rid of the man if you were just going to introduce a new character who's going to fill the exact same role? It's just very transparent what they did there. Oh, boy. And not a great plan. All right, you know what? Why don't you guys get in your questions now? If there's anything that you really want to talk about yet that you haven't asked yet, get them in right now, and then we can think about wrapping this up. Because I do need to kind of get to sleep early tonight, because I can't miss that appointment tomorrow morning, and I am not a morning person, so. Can't really go too long. Let's see. You know, for years I always thought Elektra was the love of Daredevil's life, but I never realized it was always Karen. Well, you'd be forgiven for thinking that. And Karen's been dead for years in the comics. In the comics, it probably is Elektra. Though Matt does tend to get around. I prefer Karen in the show. I really do. I mean, Elektra was cool in season 2 of Netflix Daredevil, but she's not really a girl that you bring home to your mom. She's the exciting girlfriend you like to screw around with for a while, but she's there's not a lot of long-term potential there, because ultimately it's going to go south. I think Karen's got more potential to kind of stick around and build something. So yeah, I much prefer Karen. Not just because Deborah Ann Wall is like a big TV crush of mine. I like the imagery of the city figurine that Fisk shattered only to injure Vanessa. His grand plan for the city has led to her apparent demise. Yeah, I noticed that too when I was rewatching bits of that episode today. You know, the glass figurine had a big a replica of Fisk's head on it. Wouldn't it be wild if that's the part that stabbed Vanessa in the head? Holy hell, that's symbolic. Why'd they ruin Angela Del Toro? Why isn't she an adult FBI? Where's her mom? Where is Ava Ayala's Where is Ava Ayala, Hector's younger sister, who ends up being White Tiger after Angela? I couldn't tell you. I mean, you'd have to ask the writers. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they've changed something, because they don't always follow the comics. Maybe they just thought, hey, it's an adaptation, and this works better for what we want to do. Attachment to the White Tiger character. Never really read much about any iteration of White Tiger in the comics, so this doesn't bother me. If you're a fan of the character, I can see why the changes would bug you. But that's stuff that we've come to expect, well, with MCU shows these days. Remember what they did with Echo? Then they completely changed her power set. I think it was one of the directors did an interview before that show came out. They said, yeah, her powers in the comics are stupid, so we didn't do that. We gave her new powers. Oh, so you think the character is stupid in the comics? Well, I'm glad you're making a show about her then. Um, I haven't gotten the sense that they did that's what they did here. It's not like they've changed an A-lister or anything, though. I'm sure White Tiger has fans. Again, I don't really know much about that particular character, so this doesn't bother me. If you're upset about it, you know, I get it, but kind of comes with the territory now, unfortunately. Let's see, Elektra is to Daredevil as Karen is to Matt Murdock. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. That definitely makes sense. Never really thought about it that way. All right, any more questions here? Doesn't look like it. But again, much longer here. So if there's nothing else you guys want to talk about, we can wrap this thing up. Any questions about X-Men? Because there's casting rumors coming out right now. And that'd be fun to talk about a little bit. Yeah, White Tiger's a legacy character. Honestly, I'm surprised that they haven't done as much as they're doing now. What? They haven't done as much as they're doing now. They have done? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying there. It's worded funny. Who do you want to play Professor X and Magneto in the MCU X-Men? Oof. Wow. You know, honestly, I would not put Magneto in there. I think Magneto's been done to death in the Fox movies. I think give the character a rest for a while. I wouldn't even use him. Not for a while, at least. Probably an unpopular decision. But, you know, the Fox movies really leaned hard into certain things and certain characters. And like, just, it's enough. Let's go in a different direction for a while. You know, I don't have any preferences for Xavier. I think they... I thought about Mark Strong, but honestly, that's mostly just because he's bald. I don't know. I have thoughts on certain characters. I haven't really thought much about Xavier or Magneto. There was one rumor a while back. Who the hell was it? Bryan Cranston. You know, I heard at one point, I forget when this was exactly, but they said Bryan Cranston was rumored, quote unquote, to be under consideration for Xavier. If they cast Cranston, I'd be cool with that. But yeah, I'm really more focused on the actual X-Men. Don't know how you feel about the same person who made the Thunderbolts making the X-Men, as that movie was overrated. Yeah, I think you and me are on the same page as that one. With that one. I liked Thunderbolts more than I disliked it, which I think I said that in the review. But the movie definitely had problems. And it's the same writers too who are doing it. I guess the original writer didn't work out, so they brought in the writers of the Thunderbolts script. They're doing it now. And they're both Emmy winners, so they've got more accolades than the other guy did. But I'm concerned, definitely. Um, Hopefully, Thunderbolts was a case where they just didn't bring their A game. But I mean, that movie wasn't perfect. It had definitely had issues, and I mean, like it or not, the movie failed. It didn't even make Brave New World money, and I mean, a bunch of the characters, a bunch of the character arcs had pieces missing, or just got omitted completely from the final cut of the film. And the third act had problems. Action was a little bit underwhelming. I mean, I definitely have concerns. Man, you're not alone in that. And honestly, I don't think Sadie Sink's character in Spider-Man Brand New Day is Jean Grey. Seems nothing like Jean with the body switching she seems to be doing. I mean, I guess it could be an elaborate fake out. I'm not sure who else it could be, though. I mean, she's color coded like Jean. They seem to be implying that she has psychic powers like Jean. I mean, who else could it be? I mean, there's only so many psychic redheads in the Marvel canon. I mean, there was one rumor that she could be Rachel Summers. There was one rumor that she could be Madeline Pryor. That one's kind of out there. But I mean, apparently they've signed Sadie Sink for like 5 movies. So if she's not Jean Grey, then who else is it? That casting is so weird. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I should just appreciate that they finally cast a redhead to play a redheaded character. That was overdue. I like Sadie Sink a lot. I think her as Jean Grey is just it's just really weird. I don't know if she fits the character. I haven't seen her as the character yet, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. I watched Thunderbolt 3 times. I don't get why people love it. Maybe it needed to be as serious to flesh out the characters more. That would have helped, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I thought it was Thunderbolts was good, but some people were just raving about it. Like, I don't know what movie they were watching. Could be Firestar, but that's a stretch. Now, Firestar is not a psychic. They're heavily implying that her character is psychic, so Firestar can make. Honestly, Firestar would make more sense than Jean Grey. At least you could take inspiration from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon. That was where Firestar first originated as a character in that cartoon. They could do some fun stuff if she was Firestar. But introducing Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie of all things, I don't know what's going on there. What do you think of Odessa? I never know how to pronounce her last name. Azion? I don't know. As Rogue, I've heard some rumors. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, if you haven't heard this, Odessa Ozion, however you pronounce her last name, like she's rumored to be under consideration for Rogue. So if you don't know who she is, she was the girl in the Hellraiser, the Hulu Hellraiser film from a couple years ago, and she was the girl in Marty Supreme. You know, I've liked her acting in what I've seen her in. Never did I think of her. Never did I think that she would be good as Rogue. I mean, if I'm being generous here, I think like maybe if they're doing like more of an X-Men Evolution style version of the character, she might fit it more. But I mean, she seems to enjoy playing characters that are like dysfunctional or a little bit like broken or like not emu, but they're not fun. And I'm not saying she seeks out roles like this. Maybe it's just what she's been cast in so far, because actors don't get a lot of choice in that. But I haven't seen anything from her that makes me think she'd be a good fit for Rogue. Like, can she do like sassy Southern charm? I don't know. Um, I've seen pictures of her, and she's got like the long, dark, curly hair. Some people are saying that's a wig. I don't know. Uh, um, but in some pictures, she has the right hair and the right eyes. So that's something. I don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't. Like I had people in my mentions, earlier today and yesterday, out there saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, she's perfect. Hey, look at this picture that I made with AI that has her in Rogue cosplay." And it's like, yeah, that looks like fucking cosplay. Like, do you know what Southern Belle means? Because that's a look. I don't think she has that look. And I don't know. I don't know if she has the attitude or the right vibe for Rogue. I haven't seen it from her yet. I mean, there are actresses who do have that vibe that I would consider way before I'd ever think about her. Like in my mind, there's two actresses that are absolutely perfect for Rogue. There's Margaret Qualley and there's Sophie Thatcher. Google them if you haven't heard of them. I think either of them would be fucking perfect for Rogue. Just pick one, Marvel. Just throw money at them. I think either one of them would just absolutely crush it as that character. But Odessa Ozion, like I don't know what. I mean, if that's a real thing and they're actually considering her, like I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, no shade on her. I just don't see how it fits. Okay. Odessa's getting praised online because they think she's Mediterranean, but she perms her hair and dyes it black and gets fake tans to make herself look much darker. Is she Mediterranean? I heard some people saying she was Jewish. I have no idea. I thought she was white. Who knows? Uh, Unpopular opinion. I would love to see one universe where Spider-Man and Black Cat are a couple. Do you mean in the MCU or the comics? I don't think that's an unpopular opinion at all. I'd like to see that too, actually. In the comics and in the movies. I mean, the comics have done everything they possibly could to just ruin the Peter Mary Jane relationship. I mean, Mary Jane's always been number one for me, but man, Black Cat was always like a solid number two, and they've just they've done everything under the sun to just destroy the Mary Jane relationship. So now, I mean, if they wanted to pair up Peter and Black Cat and do something with that, I'd say hell yeah, go for it. In the movies, I don't know why that hasn't happened in the movies yet. I think it would make a hell of a lot of sense to do it in brand new day. because MJ currently is currently forgotten who Spider-Man is. So if she doesn't remember Peter, play the field and explore his options. What better time to bring in Black Cat? Especially if Sydney Sweeney plays Black Cat. I just said that in the community tab today, because there was a post on Twitter saying that again, rumor that and I myself said that she was one of my picks for Emma Frost a few months ago. She is not my number one pick. She is my number one pick for Black Cat. Sydney Sweeney is who I would cast as Black Cat. I think she would crush it. I also I think, visually, I can see casting her as Emma Frost, because visually you can't get closer than that. That is as close to perfect Emma Frost as you could get in terms of just having the look. Acting wise, I'm not sure if it fits completely. I think Sydney Sweeney's wheelhouse is better suited for Black Cat. She is who I would cast as Black Cat. I agree with that. If we're casting Emma Frost, Anya Taylor-Joy, 100%. That's who I would go for. Odessa is Jewish, but yes, but her natural hair color is light brown, and she has fair skin naturally. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I had no idea. They're saying, oh, it's race bending, or she's this or that. Like, is it? Do you still watch WWE and AEW? Yeah, I still watch them. Haven't been tweeting about them. Haven't been tweeting about them very much because still watch them. There are some weeks when I forget the show is on because it's just creatively there's just both shows are kind of a mess at the moment. She has great genes. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney does have great genes. Yeah, she wears the hell out of those jeans. Okay. No, I have no idea who Keith David is playing in the Spider-Man movie. No idea. And they got so many characters in that movie. I have no idea what the story is. Honestly, it just seems like seems like that film is really crowded. Okay. Seems like that's about it. Keith David is always solid. Yeah, he's always good. I kind of love Cyclops and Emma more than Jean. Oh, hell yeah. Cyclops and Emma Frost were a way better couple. I'm still pissed off that the comics broke them up. I mean, they're doing this whole 90s nostalgia thing with the X-Men right now in the comics. So that means, that means getting Scott and Cyclops and Jean back together, which is so stupid because they haven't made sense together as a couple in like over 20 years. Like they haven't made sense together since before the Morrison run. I mean, they've developed into completely different people. And they're not even doing anything with them as a couple now. I mean, currently Scott has been radicalized and he's running like an X-Men faction out of Alaska. Jean is off being the Phoenix again on the other side of the galaxy. They're not even interacting. They're not doing anything together. Why are they still a couple? It makes no sense. It's so stupid. Starhawk 380. There have actually been a few times in the comics where Cyclops did use his optic blast on Emma in her diamond form, and it just refracted the optic blast, and the optic energy just got like refracted in like a dozen different directions. So yeah, there have been stories where he did that. Okay. I think we can probably wrap it up here. So, if you missed the stream or if you got here late, this thing will be set to private as soon as I'm done recording here. And then it will be uploaded to the live streaming channel in the next day or two. If you don't know about the live streaming channel, you can link to it in the description box down below, or just do a YouTube search for Thorias Unlimited live streams. It should be the first one that comes up. And thank you to... where is it? Almost kind of lost it there. Ugh, come on. Cutting off the end of it here. Stephen Kahn 85, little bit dyslexic, so sometimes numbers are out of place. Thank you very much for the super chat, and thank you to everyone else who showed up. I'd like to go longer, but I have an appointment in the morning. I kind of need to be on time for that one, so we're going to call it there. Thanks for talking to me tonight. I guess we're going to be sticking with these Sunday night live streams because I keep thinking I'll do it earlier in the week and then it never happens. Now it's just... Now Sunday night is when we stream and talk about Daredevil. Okay, I guess we're going to continue with that one. So I guess we'll be talking about episode 5 next week. We're in the back half of the season already. So Jessica Jones is going to be showing up soon. Get excited for that. Hopefully there won't be any more creative hiccups like we saw in this episode. And yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Sorry we couldn't go longer. That does happen sometimes. Thanks for talking to me. Just subscribe to the live streaming channel. Excuse me, can't talk tonight. God damn it. Again, link in the description box down below, or just search for Thorias Unlimited live streams. That's where all my live streams go up after I get done streaming. And otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Have a good night.